So today we will be going to see how we design a geocell reinforced pavement. In this tutorial, we will see a pavement which has as you can see on your screen, will have three layers, visible layers. The first one is a loading plate, basically representing a plate load test. The middle layer will be of base material. The bottommost layer will be of subgrade or soil material. And let me show you the geocell reinforcement, which is embedded in the base material. So I have just removed or uh, make the base layer disappeared, not actually removed. So you can see this is the geocell reinforcement which will be embedding. So I'll show you the ODB files. So you can see here. So geocell reinforcement takes some loads, and there are spread in geocell. If I remove this plate, you can see more. You can see there are strain and there are various patterns of stresses in geocell, and you can also see the strain patterns very carefully, which are maximum at the bottom. So there are a lot of displacement based pattern as well. So let us start modeling. We'll just move to the part model. So I've actually already modeled. So to show you the simple model, we have our four parts. First one I'm calling base course, second one is geocell, the third one is subgrade, and fourth one is plate. So we'll start looking at these parts. So first let's go to the base course material, which is the middle layer, which will be reinforced with the geocell. In this sketch we can see that the diagram of the cross section, or you can say the view from top, the area of which we can see from the top is 1 meter by 1 meter. So that is the dimension of our base course, and that will be the dimension of most of the layer except for the plate. So this is 1 meter by 1 meter, and the extrusion size of this will be 0.12, that is 120 centimeter. So you can see this is our base course, and the material property for base course, we have selected two surfaces, which this one surface is bottom surface, and this one is the bottom surface. This one is the top surface. You can just go to surface and create surface, and then you can select any surface from the geometry and name it accordingly. So that's how we make our surfaces. And very similar to this, we have our subgrade. Let me show you the section sketch of the subgrade. This is 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter. As you can see, 1 meter here, and 1 meter here, 1 meter by 1 meter area, and the depth of this is like 150, 0.45 meter, that is 450 centimeter depth of subgrade we have assumed. And in the bottom we will apply Encaster boundary condition. So we have a surface assigned, a top surface for this, which will be coming into the interaction part later on. And the final one is plate. So the area of plate is smaller based on the plate load test, that is 0.3 meter or 30 centimeter, as you see. And it is a square plate, 30 centimeter by 30 centimeter. And we'll go to solid extrude, and we'll see that the thickness is 25, but here we have taken 0.02, that is 2 centimeter thickness of the plate. And these three are very easy parts, rectangle parts, square parts of our model. Now we'll move on to the complex one, geocell, that is the hardest. So to model a geocell, we have to create a mesh. Generally there is a sinusoidal pattern which people follow. That is very hard to create in geometry and move that into abacus. So I am going to show you the hexagonal pattern. So this hexagonal pattern can be created, and then we can just copy and paste it to create a web of this pattern, or geocell to represent a geocell which is cut from the sides. So this will represent our geocell. So you can see the diagram, and you can see that I'll just move to this, and you can see this is 0.081 this width, and not all the angles are 120 degree, but I will show you the height, that is 0.21. So this height is 0.21, and again thickness from here to here is 0.243. Based on this dimensions, you can create your own hexagonal web, and then you can make a geometry out of it. So that's how we can do. So I'm going to create a sketch to show you how you can create a geocell. So I'll just do, what I will do is I will just create a I'll just save this sketch as a GC, and I'll click on OK. GCs already exist, so we'll just move on to that sketch. Sorry for that. Let's call it GC1. So this is GC1, our sketch, and we'll go to our sketches. Sorry, we'll get away from this part. Oh, so where do we find our sketch? Yeah, here we have our sketch geocell. So let me just show you how you can make your own geocell pattern. So I'll just going to clear most of the things. Sorry, to clear out, we'll have to select erase and delete, and this, and click on done. So this is how you have one pattern. You can create it based on the dimensions which are provided in the video earlier, and then what you can do is you can just copy this whole thing and click on done, and what you can do is you can move from here to here. So this you can do. There are several other patterns which you can follow. So you know that already that this length is 0.08. So you can create, what you can do is you can just copy this specific line segment from here to here, and then what you can do is you can move this whole earlier segment which we copied from here to somewhere, let's say here, and then we can again move this specific segment from here to here, and then we can join them. So that's how we have created a segment here, and then what we can do is we can just copy this whole thing with the connecting line segment, and then we can have our segments like this. Then we can also have more and more segments. Let me show you the moving in let's move into other direction. So let's copy this, click on done, and now what I will do is I will move from here to let's say here. So we want to copy it, not move it. So I'm going from here to here. So you can see by this way you can create a lot of patterns. And that's how you have to just create for your single hexagonal. So I'm just going to close it, and I'm not going to save it because it's already saved in the previous model. So I'm going to move to my previous model. I'm going to go to property. So in property module, you have seen that we have created our geometry. Now what I will show you is that I will show you the property module, and this is very basic. So I've used a dredged soil, and I'm going to show you that this density is 1600 kilogram per meter cube. Elastic property is 25 MPa. Young's modulus with Poisson ratio 0.35. Mohr Coulomb modulus with friction angle of 10. That is basically very cohesive soil. Very less friction angle, very high cohesion, and similar tangent cutoff based on C cot phi. which you have seen in many videos. Geocell is basically elastic material with density lesser lower than water because it is made up of PET, polyethylene geocell. And in the elastic part, we see 275 MPa, Young's modulus, and then Poisson ratio of 0.45, a limestone aggregate subgrade with density of 2500 kilogram per meter cube, elasticity of 193 MPa, because that is aggregate, and Poisson ratio of 0.4. This aggregate will have very less cohesion, so friction angle will be 55 and dilation angle will be 55 minus 30, that is 25 degree. We generally assume that, and cohesion is a nominal value of 1, and tension cutoff is also nominal value of 1. And we have steel for the plate, which is basically steel property 27850 kg per meter cube is the density, and 2 GPa is the Young's modulus with 0.3 Poisson's ratio. So these are the properties which we can apply to the given materials, and let's move on to assembly, which we have already created. Let me show you the part instances. So bottom one is the subgrade, or what we call here is the subgrade, and the top of the subgrade is base course. And as you can see here in the colors, color coding, what is what. So as you can see, and let me remove the this specific instance of base, so you can see the geocell. To keep your geocell in the middle, you have to either what you can do is let me just show you how you can place your geocell in the middle. Is either you can go with the specific geometry, or what you can do is you can partition this specific plate. You can partition this plate and then move your geocell at the center of the plate, and then move it a little bit in the bottom, or you can move the plate upwards. So that's how you can situate your geocell. So that's our diagram. So this is our assembly. We'll go to step. We'll generally choose the dynamic implicit step of time 1, and the other conditions will be default. We'll go to interaction later on. In interaction, we'll see that we have applied an interaction property of friction, which we'll see as a general condition, general contact. So this friction will be rough contact between everything, and as you can see, there is rough contact, but we are allowing separation after contact if the force is higher than might be causing separation in tangential direction. And we have applied an embedded region condition. The region which is embedded is the geocell region, which is embedded in base course material, as you can see here. So this embedded region condition is basically the reinforcing condition. We use this embedded condition when we create when we create a RCC material, or when we model an RCC beam or column where there are rebars inside a concrete beam. And the tie condition, which we can use for the base and subbase, base coarse and subgrade material, or you can just remove this maybe, but I'm going to use it for now. And you can apply a load at the top of the cell, top of the plate, with an amplitude of gradually increasing. And then you can apply fixed boundary condition at the bottom, as you can see, Ancaster boundary condition at the bottom, this one. And you can create a roller boundary condition and on the all the vertical sides except for the plates. So all the vertical sides will be applied with a roller boundary condition, and this roller boundary condition will allow the displacement to happen in only y direction, as you can see here. So in z direction, that is the vertical direction for this specific plate. You can see the model is done in such a way that the loading will be in z direction. So manage your brain in that way for this specific tutorial. You can model it the loading in negative y direction, but here we have negative z direction for the loading. So we are resisting any motion in x and y direction to apply the roller boundary condition, except for the z direction, that is downward. And we'll go for the mesh. This is the basic mesh which I have already created, but you can just create a native mesh of finer for the geocell, let's say 0.031. That's automatically done, but what you can do is you can select your geocell so that it divides itself, so that it doesn't cut small, so the element size should be not very small. In the base course, your approximate global size is 5 centimeter, and your subgrade is the approximate global size of 6 centimeter, and plate has approximate global size of 2 centimeter. So this is our mesh, and we'll go for the job, and we'll see that earlier I have performed a check on this model. So we can just perform the data check, which will be successful, and I will show you the results, which you can see here. So that's how the our final output will look to you. This geocell reinforced pavement will be looking like that, and finally you can also design this in this manner. And for detailed tutorial, I will be putting this kind of tutorials later. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.